Biden says Putin is banking on us losing interest in continuing sanctions, but the US can aid Ukraine for a long time.
This post received a score of 51,000, with an upvote ratio of 92%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Literally going, maybe they'll just forget, as a geopolitical strategy.
How could the US ever forget about getting the Russian army chewed to pieces? They'll never get bored of that. Ever. We're still ribbing the French for giving up once.
After they had fought to the reasonable end for the time. And then they kept fighting as rebels and prepared and assisted with retaking all of FSC King Europe, the cheese-eating surrender monkeys that they are.
Literally taking a last stand and sacrificing themselves to let the British have a chance to evacuate at Dunkirk.
But you fuck one goat.
Had to be a sick ostrich.
Are they not aware of Cuba?
They grossly underestimate how stubborn we can be.
They also grossly underestimate how willing we are to fund forever wars. Especially one where US personnel aren't getting hurt, but manufacturers are getting fed.
And this forever war is a surprisingly cheap, b someone else is doing it, c opening up a new market for their toys,
d hurting their primary competitor when it comes to supplying expensive military hardware like jets, tanks, missiles, etc.
Also a useful way to test weapon systems against a primary and aggressive foreign policy rival.
The sanctions are an overall boost to America's economy. Countries like Germany and France are remembering who their real friends are. Other countries will buy more of our weapons, food and everything else because we are showing ourselves to be more reliable as trading partners. Apart from the gas prices, everything else is a positive.
Greater than we will end up richer for this. Even after the war is over. Imagine being a US firm tasked with assisting in the rebuilding of Mariupol. $. We made bank rebuilding Germany and Japan after WW2.
As an American, I honestly hope Ukraine joins the EU and goes to European governments for aid and European companies for rebuilding first, because it will help both EU and Ukraine to establish those relationships. And ultimately, it will benefit the US to have a stronger EU as a partner vs. China and whatever is left of Russia after this conflict ends. Let the US be primary support for the war effort, let Europe be primary support post-war.
I can't see American companies staying out of the rebuilding, as there is just too much money to be made. Ukraine would have to actively keep the US out in favor of EU corporations. It really falls on their government. Any way you cut it, Ukraine is going to be better off if, when, they win this war.
He's banking on the United States being economically affected by it enough that the citizens get upset and it affects his and his party's chances of re-election.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.